We are on the second break in the questioning of Paul Condon. As I said before, there are much more breaks today than usual. We're having one every hour. After bragging that his memory was especially good, we have got to him claiming not to have a memory at all of the pertinent events when it comes to the SDS. He's relied heavily on the fact that he can't talk about some aspects of it because the nature of some of the closed issues with the inquiry, but he's sure that he saved lives by rerouting the October march in Welling against the BNP HQ. I'm joined by Kate Wilson, a police spies out of lives. What have you made of what he's had to say?
He's pompous and tiresome. He's a politician. He's very clear. I mean, once you get to that level of the police, you're in politics. You're not really in policing anymore, and that really comes across. So the first part of the hour that we've had was still dealing with the Lawrences, and then we've moved on to the October demonstration, and we ended with stuff around the disciplining of Mike Chitty.
Yes, of which more to come, I think. Yeah.
And on all of those topics, I mean, he's another one who is completely revising history. I mean, he's being the questions that he was asked about the Lawrence inquiry, and he's like, well, no, of course I wouldn't. You know, all we cared about was investigating the murder. I mean, it's just like they have no shame.
He doesn't seem to realise that the majority of us in the room were alive between 1993 and 2000 when he was Commissioner of the Police and remember what it was like.
Exactly. And I mean, he did this morning, before the last break, he gave a bit of a political lecture about, you know, how the world was different then and what it was like, which I think actually was quite important because it basically set the stage for, yes, Special Branch and the SDS were fundamentally ideological units doing political policing. I'm not sure if that was what he meant to be the takeaway from it, but often we're seeing with these police officers is that they arrogantly tell us about the world as they see it, and actually it confirms some of the worst things you've ever imagined about policing in this country.
Yeah, he's talked quite a lot about how he was judged very large staff. He talked about, it was the Bishopsgate bombing was much more important than the Stephen Lawrence murder at the time, and he was very focused on that. He talks about how his chief superintendents, who were his staff members, who were receiving the correspondence that came into his office, wouldn't have realised the significance.
Yes, I mean, so what we've got here is the top man in the police force. So what we are seeing inevitably is the buck is getting passed down. Yeah. He claims stuff that he wouldn't have seen, stuff that, you know, he, of course, had he seen it, would have understood the significance of, you know, specifically Mike Chitty complaining about the stress caused by appearing in court as a defendant alongside activists, that he, of course, would have realised the significance and the problematic nature of that, but it's not something you'd expect a chief superintendent to pick up on. Again, we've got a lot of reference to his staff officer, who I suspect must be dead, because he's getting a lot of blame passed onto him.
And names very directly.
Yes, very specifically named.
Peter Clark.
Yeah.
It's interesting as well, actually, that earlier on, when he was being questioned about his time as staff officer to a previous commissioner, whose name escapes me at the moment, but he talked about how the fact that Special Branch had this ability to bypass the staff and speak directly to the commissioner and brief them privately. And when we're getting correspondence from Special Branch to him, he's saying, it would have been gatekeep through, which kind of directly contradicts his own evidence, which we're kind of used to.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting kind of seeing a bit behind the curtain of what would have been going on at commissioner level, but he's so obviously... Like he has a stock response, which I was thinking about just before we came in, but I've now completely forgotten, but which is kind of like when you can tell when he's been asked a question that he realizes the answer to it is going to look bad on him, and he gives a kind of circumspect answer that isn't, I can't recall, it's more politic than that, but it's you can just go, I mean, I almost feel like, okay, those are the questions that matter.
Yes,
You can tell by the way
Yeah.
he answers that those are the questions that matter.
He was asked very directly about his issuing of a Section 12 for the 6th of October 1993 march through Welling. He says that it was based on the intelligence that he received, specifically in relation to there being a plan to commit arson against the BNP HQ, which he was told came from intelligence that came from a long-term undercover officer.
So there was an interesting bit around that where when he started saying it, he said that he was restricted in what he could say about the intelligence that he received. That usually means that they are referring to intelligence received about the far right.
Yes.
But then he went on to basically talk about intelligence that was supposedly around the intentions of the left-wing demonstrators on the day,
which we've heard from Trevor Morris, who reported this. We've seen his reports that claim that there was this plan to firebomb the BNP HQ, which, I mean, when you actually break it down, appears to be a leaflet by Class War of burn it down.
Yes.
Which, I mean, for those of you who are not familiar with the rhetoric of Class War, as a former member of Class War myself, that was kind of standard rhetoric, right? You know, blow it up, burn it down, kick it till it breaks.
And I mean, I think, you know, there's been a lot of evidence heard about this Welling demonstration. And I think it pretty much has been established by the evidence of both the SDS undercovers, who are the long-term undercovers in question, and the activists, the organisers of the demonstration, and a number of people who were there, that this plan to firebomb it was nonsense. It was put to Condon. If it had been the case that were inaccurate intelligence, would you still have made the Section 12 order? And he pretty much said, no, obviously not. But I was absolutely right and prophetic to make it because, you know, I saved lives. He referred repeatedly. I mean, it was a bit like listening to somebody who's done a kind of standard dealing with the media thing. He repeated the statistic of 60 people injured on that demonstration.
Injured by who, Paul?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we've heard so much evidence about policing on that day and how violent it was and how people were boxed in and trapped and not allowed to take the sensible route out, but instead were basically corralled by the police and beaten senseless. So I don't know if he realizes that statistic is not actually as kind of hard hitting and doesn't make him look as good as he thinks it does.
No, quite. Just one of the comments we've just had, Condon pissing down, the shit doesn't always flow uphill. Yeah, quite. Yeah. And he's blaming the staff. It's only a short break. We're only at 10 minutes. So we probably should wrap up. Anything else you'd like to add?
Only that if there's any core participants out there who are not aware of the Home Office's attempts to shut down the Tranche 4 and Tranche 5 and the recommendations section of this inquiry, that we're going to be having a meeting about it tonight with the lawyers. There's possibility to join online. Get in touch with your lawyer if you want to take part.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Thanks for everybody's liking and sharing. It makes a huge difference. We'll see you in about an hour.